Hello everyone. Now मैं द हिंदू वोकेबलरी के न्यू कुछ वर्ड्स है जो हमें ये करने हैं। सबसे ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम आती है प्रोनाउंसिएशन और याद करने में, तो वहाँ से थोड़ी सी हेल्प हो जाएगी। तो फर्स्ट वर्ड है ल्यूर। ल्यूर मीन्स लुभाना, किसी को ग्रैप अप करने के लिए जब हम ट्रैप बिछाते हैं नॉर्मली उसको बोलते हैं। प्रोनाउंसिएशन अभी ये है
lure, lure. To lure as a verb or lure as a noun. I think a countable noun, yes. So to lure, it's very similar to the verb to tempt. To lure, to lead somebody into a wrong or foolish act. Okay, but to lure gives the idea of bait, of something to attract a person into a trap. So the cheese lured the mouse into the trap. Lure also gives the idea that the person does not know that it's a trap. They don't know that this action is wrong or foolish, and they will discover to their cost later. To tempt, on the other hand, gives the idea of somebody encouraging, persuading, making it attractive for somebody to do something that they do know is wrong or unwise.
So maybe आप समझ गए होंगे. Next was is rationale. रैशनल मीन्स तर्क होता है किसी भी चीज़ या एक्शन के लिए जो हम इंटरेक्शन करते हैं उसको बोलते हैं. एंड प्रोनाउंसिएशन, लेट्स गेट सी.
Two, it just doesn't exist. So, what about formality? Well, rational is a neutral word, and you could use it anywhere in an informal conversation, in a formal document. Rationale, however, I think is a much more formal word, and this word rationale is very good for a formal document or a formal writing. I'd probably give it something like 6.5 out of 10, maybe even 7 in formality. I wouldn't normally use rationale in an informal conversation. Both of these words come from Latin, rationalis or rationalis, the reason for something. So, rational, in accordance with logic, he made the only possible rational decision. His behaviour was rational, was sane, or maybe with good judgment. A rational creature, a creature that has the capacity to think. And then rationale, the reasoning, the logic that you use to make a decision, the logic that you use to decide on a course of action, the reasons why you do something. Normally the rationale, you may even explain the rationale to somebody, the thinking behind it. So the judge gave his rationale for the sentence that he imposed. The politician explained the rationale for the new policy that he implemented. Many English teachers, when they have a class of small kids, they teach them have got and they teach them contractions. Well, my rationale is these are complex irregularities and you should leave those for much later. Okay, which is why I prefer not to teach them to kids. Okay, so the rationale, the logical thinking of something. And then rational, logical, the opposite irrational, and you could even have an adverb, rationally. He thought rationally. So, I guess that's enough. There we go. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Rational and rationale.
सो लास्ट वर्ड में हमने रैशनल और रैशनल में डिफरेंस देखा. नेक्स्ट वर्ड प्रोफॉर्मा. प्रोफॉर्मा इज़ अ पर्टिकुलर टाइप ऑफ लेटर. ये एक डॉक्यूमेंट का ही एक क्रिएशन होता है जो नॉर्मली वर्ड्स में हम यूज़ करते हैं. तो इसमें क्या होता है कि प्रारूप के लिए यूज़ होता है एंड प्रोनाउंस.
To people in Congress who were behind Cramdown, they did not feel that they felt that the White House kind of pro forma supported it and did not put their
really necessary, or operations that are sort of a pro forma that are not always necessary for people.
Council. So if you ask me pro forma, where does it exist today? It exists more in the National Security Council and it's
Royal Australian Air Force provided a pro forma questionnaire to members of the public. The form had 14 questions for an
alliance through, let's say, legacy, identity, and the pro forma of actually doing the project.
It's not just pro forma democracy, everybody gets to vote. We feel it in our bones. That is who we are.
ओके, ये थोड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग था. सो द परफॉर्मर सपोर्ट, इट मीन्स समथिंग सपोर्ट फ्रॉम अ डॉक्यूमेंट. तो नेक्स्ट वर्ड इज़ रिजेंटमेंट. नॉर्मली हम इसमें रिजेंट का मीनिंग देखेंगे जो वर्ब है, एंड रिजेंटमेंट इसी का ही नाउन है जिसका मतलब बीटरनेस और एंगर, जैसे नाराज़गी और गुस्सा होता है. तो लेट्स सी द पंक्चुएशन.
To resent, to feel angry about something. I feel resentment at having to be dependent on my father for money. He resents the fact that I am richer than he is. I've always resented my brother because he's my mother's favourite and I'm the reject. I resent your interference in my affairs. I feel resentment at the way I was treated by the police. So, to resent, to dislike, to object to hate, to feel bitter about, to be offended by, to be angry about. So, resentment, you're upset about it. Yeah, it's how you feel inside. I resent being treated like a child. I resent the way she is so authoritarian. And I resent her new boyfriend. Yeah, I'm angry about it. So it's this feeling of anger inside. You have a grudge. Okay, so to resent, to be angry about a situation. To be angry at what someone has done. To be offended because somebody does something you don't like. Or because...
So the next word is nitty gritty. It means होता है बेसिक फैक्ट और सॉल्यूशन, सार किसी चीज़ का जो हम नॉर्मली यूज़ करते हैं. ये एक फॉरेन वर्ड है एंड प्रोनाउंसिएशन इसकी ये रहेगी.
Down to the nitty-gritty of something. The nitty-gritty. Okay, to get down to the basic elements, to arrive at the basics of something. Let's try an example. You haven't got any money. Okay, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Why? Do you have a job? Because if you don't have a job, you need to find a job. That's the nitty-gritty. Do you owe a lot of money? Is the bank charging you a lot of interest? Okay, then to get down to the nitty-gritty, the basics, you need to find a way to pay the bank. Okay, that's the nitty-gritty, the basic part of the situation. Yes, I have problems when I run. I'm out of breath. Okay, let's look at the basics. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. You smoke too much, you're too fat, okay? And those are the nitty-gritty of the situation. Yeah? the basics, the bottom of the situation. So, if you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, add this to your favourites, and make a comment. Yeah? So, bye for now.
So, the last word is extravagant. Extravagant का मतलब है extreme, unreasonable, बहुत ज़्यादा in quantity और maybe in any particular situation और कुछ भी बोल सकते हैं. तो देखते हैं pronunciation क्या रहता है इसका.
Students, extravagant, an adjective. Extravagantly, adverb. Extravagance, the noun for the quality. Okay, I think if you describe somebody as extravagant, they don't hold themselves back when spending money. Yeah, they lack restraint spending money or using some sort of resource. Yeah, so he lives a very extravagant lifestyle. He buys all of the best things. Yeah, he buys all the most expensive things, even if he can't afford them. Okay, so extravagant, exceeding reasonable bounds, exceeding what is reasonable to expect. Yeah, so he in the negotiations they made extravagant demands, more than is reasonable. Okay, so if you buy extravagant gifts for your friends, these are more expensive than you would consider necessary or reasonable. Yeah, I think something that's extravagant is expensive. It's top of the range. I think very often parents have extravagant hopes for their children, and then later on they become disappointed. Okay, so extravagant, exceeding the limits of what is reasonable. I think very often advertising makes extravagant claims for their product. He gave extravagant praise to the singers, without moderation, without restraint, without.
So basically हम यहाँ पे 6 वर्ड है जिनके प्रोनाउंसिएशन एंड हिंदी अर्थ और याद करने का तरीका दिखा है, जिसमें ल्यूर, रैशनल, प्रोफॉर्मा, रेजिटमेंट, निटिग्रिटी और एक्स्ट्रावेगेंट है. एंड इसमें क्या रहता है कि हमें सबसे ज़्यादा दिक्कत आती है याद करने में. तो इन वीडियोस में मैंने ट्राई किया है कि ये जितना ज़्यादा प्रोनाउंस जहाँ हो रहा है वो यूज़ हो, ताकि हमें बहुत ज़्यादा सुनने के बाद वो याद होगा. तो यही बेसिकली पर्पस है कि याद हो जाए. एंड एग्ज़ाम में हम जो भी एग्ज़ाम के लिए प्रिपेयर कर रहे हैं, बैंकिंग हो गया, एसएससी सीजीएल या एसएससी जो भी है, हम उस चीज़ के लिए अपनी इंग्लिश को तैयार कर सकें. सो ऑल द बेस्ट फॉर योर अपकमिंग एग्ज़ाम. बाय बाय.